There's growing outrage over the atrocities committed by Russian forces. President Biden is calling for new sanctions and a war crimes trial as the world reels from traumatic scenes out of the town of Bucha, just miles from the capital, where hundreds of people were killed.
James Longman is there in that town of Bucha, just outside Kyiv, for us this morning. Good morning, James.
Yeah, good morning, Michael. This is Bucha, and this gives you some of the idea of the devastation here. This whole road is just strewn with burnt-out cars. When you get into town, it just gets so much worse. We've been speaking to people here, Ukrainians, who are hunkered down in their buildings, hiding in their basements, as Russians were living in their buildings. Russia has said the crimes that we've seen here were staged. They were not. We have seen them. And just a warning to people at home, the images you're about to see are very distressing. This morning, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy addressing the UN Security Council in the wake of the atrocities in Bucha. As Ukrainian forces retake ground in Ukraine, this town, just miles northwest of Kyiv, is revealing a glimpse of what will define this war. Because along with the devastation and the countless signs of Russian defeat, the bodies of civilians are being discovered, apparently executed in the streets. This victim, a grocery bag just feet from where they fell, and this man appearing to be out for a ride on his bicycle. Seemingly random acts of cruelty, hard to comprehend. Authorities say more than 300 victims have been recovered so far. We meet Mykolaiah alongside his neighbours, finally getting help. He takes us to graves behind his building, where he says he buried 3 of his friends, killed by the Russians. They were looking for anyone under 50, he says. I ask how old he is. He says 53. He says they lived underground while Russian troops occupied their homes. These are tears of relief, I say. Yes, he replies. Some bodies found in mass graves, but others that suggest more than the actions of out-of-control soldiers, the targeted assassinations of Russia's opponents.
I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bodies in this tiny room in this basement where Ukrainians say people have been tortured.
Russia has called these images fake, but these murders happened while the Russians were here. This town is now a crime scene. And more proof. The New York Times analysing this satellite picture dated March 19, when the Russians were in control of the city. The image showing bodies on the street. Zelenskyy travelling to the area on Monday. This woman thanking him for, quote, staying with his people. The pain of this town all over the Ukrainian leader's face. These are war crimes and will be recognised by the world as genocide, he said. The White House confirming Russian forces are now retreating from Kyiv to Belarus, but warning Russia is likely to deploy tens of thousands of troops to Ukraine's east. Officials in the region urging residents to evacuate, even those who don't live on the front lines. In Odessa, families forced to separate, a father torn from his children, those left behind with simple messages to their invaders. This banner says, Russian soldier, stop. How will you look your children in the eye? Now you can see here behind me some of the aid is starting to arrive here at last, and I want to show you just up here. You saw me speaking there to Mykolaiah. This is his building. He was hunkered down in the basement there while Russians were living there. But the great fear here is that this is just the start. As Ukraine takes more and more land back, more and more atrocities might be discovered.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.